And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I do every day. What's going on, folks? Hope you are all doing well on this wonderful Tuesday. Wait, Wednesday. It's supposed to be Wisdom Wednesday, but today is going to be called Watch. So let's say watch. Water cooler, water cooler, water cooler talk Wednesday. I'll get it together. I'll get it together. Good morning. Hannah is in the building. Good morning. Good morning. Brian is in the building. All my wonderful folks are here. Brian, Omar. So today's going to be a family chat. So it's just family chat. We don't have a guest today. But next week, we have an incredible guest. Woo! I cannot wait for you to meet Chaz. Amazing photographer, amazing person, amazing energy. He'll be on next week. And but this week is a week for us. I say, look, this is a good day to just hang out with you folks, hang out with this community, just hang out together and just chat it up. There's a whole lot going on in the news. So we're going to just talk about what's happening in the world. And I'm so excited to be able to do that because, I like to talk it. I like to talk it. And I want to also give you guys some good information. Kristi's Corner is in the building. Ding, 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 ding. Anthony Rowland is in the building. How are you guys doing? I would have volunteered to be a guest. You would have, right? Well, you could be a guest still. You can still come on. Today is going to be where everyone is a guest. So I will put the information on the board. And then if you want to come on, you can come on. Now, this is for our regulars. Now, if you're here for the first time and nobody in this community knows who you are, well, that's not going to happen because we got to protect our community. But if you've been a part of this community for more than a week or two, maybe 3 weeks, how about a month? If you've been a part of this community for more than a month, then you know how things go here. So you are more than welcome to pop on. So Brian, I will put we got a lot to talk about. A lot has happened in 24 hours in the news. So the great thing about this, we could have a full panel discussion. We can have up to, I think we can have up to 6 people in this spot talking. So we just want to be respectful of each other. When one is speaking, the others let the other one speak, right? So today is going to be that kind of day. It is going. I haven't even created a banner for it yet. Did I create a banner for it? Let me see if I create a banner for it today because today's a new day, a new kind of day. I never thought I would be doing this kind of day. Yeah, okay, here it is. Water Cooler Wednesday. There we go. Water Cooler Wednesday. I did create a banner for it. Saying we'll be talking about today's topic. So today's water cooler. Yeah, that one's wrong. That should be said Wednesday. That one is right. Water cooler Wednesday. I need to adjust that one. Let me make some adjustments here. That's the beauty of being live and being in. This is just us hanging out, and that's the beauty of being on streaming and live and creating a community. We're here and we're here. There we go. Here we go. I'm going to put that up now. Here we go. Water Cooler Wednesday. Today's topics. Doesn't that look good? Doesn't that look good? And if you guys are in the YouTube channel, come on over. YouTube. I mean, Instagram. Come on over to our Touch Base Daily on YouTube for a better experience. You can do your work while you're listening. You can go onto other pages while you're listening. It's just such a better when you're on Instagram. As soon as you leave that tab, you can't see us, but you can see us when you're on YouTube. So come on over to YouTube and hang out with us. We are having some fun in YouTube as a community. So today we got a lot going on. So we're just gonna go right out the gate on fire today. And Anthony says to Omar, "Are you getting some fishing done? Are you getting your fishing in?" And Omar is a fisher. He loves to fish, and he took me fishing when he was here in New York. Oh, I made that even more crazy. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. I don't know. That looks a little crazy. I'm trying to get it right. Omar was here when he was here. He took me fishing. Um, and we had a great time. Besides me piercing my nipple with a hook, the fishing hook, it was a great experience. I thought I was like in a movie, so I was like trying to pull back and pull the fishing rod out and just go like this, and the hook got hooked into my nipple. It was a moment. Omar, do you remember that? So that was my first fishing trip experience. It was great. We had a good time, but I do remember it like it was yesterday. It's hard to forget your first nipple piercing by a fishing hook. So, oh my gosh. Oh my God. Chrissy says that sounds wild, Ron. It was. It was. I said, Omar, I got a hook in my. I thought sure I was like in some movie. I was like, oh, let me just swing this thing back and throw it out into the water. As soon as I swung it back, the line went right against my chest and the hook went right into my nipple. I mean, it was memorable. But I did catch some fish for the first time. It was my first time and I caught some fish. So Omar, I hope you have enjoying your fishing day. I have fond memories of our fishing time together. Elise is in the building. Miss Elise is in the building. So this is what I'm going to do, guys. So you guys are in the chat. So what I'm going to do, let me see if I can, I'm going to invite, let me see if I can invite this. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy this. And then I'm going to put this on a banner. Yeah, I'm going to put it on the banner. How about that? I'm going to put it on the banner. And then you can join me if you so desire. Okay, so you can join me. Today is our community chat. We're having community water cooler chat, and we're going to take one subject at a time. And so here we go. Let me get this up here on the screen. So if you want to join me, you just have to go into this web connection here. Just put this in there, and then you can join me. Yeah, you can join me today. Today we're talking lots of topics today. So, but we're going to do it together. I want to have community conversation. So, like I said, if we can have 4 or 6 people in here, that would be cool. Or 4 or 5 people, and we'll look. Come on if you want to come on. First topic of the day. First topic of the day. Let me see what you guys are saying here before I start. I see, hey, Hope is in the building. What's going on, Hope? Hi, Ron. It's Hope and Joshua. So glad we met you at the plant shop. Yes, my dear. Yes. You know how I feel about the plant shop. I love me some plants. Yes, yes, Hope. And it was so beautiful meeting them. And so good to see them. Thank you, Hope, for joining. And she is a neighbor. She is one of my neighbors. She and her honey bun. Okay. Let's see here. So caught fish. Okay, so there we go. So again, the first topic up for today. Oh, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Police clear Columbia building of protesters. Yeah, so last night I saw the what you call it, the banner go across my phone. It said police are getting ready to go into Columbia University, and And I know everybody's on every side of this topic. This topic is probably the most controversial fireball topics of all topics today, because there are protests, like I said, breaking out all over the country and in several universities. But it's only in about 50 universities around the country out of 800. Out of 8,000. There are 8,000 colleges and universities in America. And this is only happening on 50 campuses around the country. So let's put it in perspective. The media makes it look like it's bigger than what it is. These protesters are all over the place. They're breaking out. They're just losing their minds all over the country. College campuses are out of control. No, they're not. Most of the country, college is in session. People are finishing up their exams and trying to get going with their realities and what they need to do to get out of school. Hey, that's right, Noah. That's right. Say, give the stream a like, y'all. If y'all are here, this is a good time to like and subscribe. Yes. Let me use my banners. Let me use the banners. Look, let me use the banners. Here we go. Oh, let me get that out of the way. I'm working all these controls here. Okay, there we go. Like and subscribe, YouTube. There we go. At Ron Lewis Photos. And Touch Base Daily is a part of Ron Lewis Photos. So anyway, Peter, sorry, let's go back to that banner's there. I'm going to leave that there. And let's get that off for a moment. It's a lot of controllings here, guys. So you had to bear with me as I move my fingers all over the place across this board. I am the producer and the talker. Some people have producers. I am my own producer. Okay. Oh, let's bring on Brian. Brian wants to be in the building. What's going on, B?
Hey, how's it going?
You're not driving, right?
No, I parked.
Okay, there we go. Okay, we are practicing safety.
Yeah, let me try to get it darker in here so there's reduce the glare.
Oh no, you look great. You look perfect.
Oh, okay.
We can see you nicely. Nicely. Light is good. Come into the light, my brother. Come into the light.
I'll open that back up.
So the topic at hand right now is police clear Columbia buildings of protesters. And see, I get it. I get where Columbia is coming from. One is, for those that don't know, I've been following the Columbia University because that is here. And I'm not alumni of Columbia, but it is one of my favorite colleges, campuses to go visit, to photograph. I always spend time there. And so I'm familiar with the campus of Columbia. And they have their graduation on their lawn. They need their lawn to have the graduation. And I know that the protesters are like, "Yo, we want to stay here. We got a point to make." I get it, but you cannot stall. At least this is my opinion. Now, maybe you guys may feel different. It is not cool to stall or to not have a graduation ceremony for all the other students that want to have a graduation, especially when this is the class of 2024. Do we know what that means? That means they did not have a high school graduation.
Yeah.
Most of the students graduating from Columbia in 3 weeks, I think it is, they are having their first graduation from an institution of some kind. Anyway, what do you guys say? What are you guys thinking? Brian, you're here. You're on the screen. So what do you think, Bree?
Well,
you don't have to agree with me.
No. Well, I think this is hitting me in many different, I guess, across many different lanes. My opinion is, protest is so. I've listened to a lot of these pundits reference the civil rights protests, which, on a sidebar, I find funny that a lot of the pundits who are using that as a reference probably
Mm-hmm.
back then would probably be denouncing it, but now history, looking back, sees the good in it. Um, I believe, my belief, protest should not be violent. You're how do you you're the point that you're trying to make kind of gets lost in the midst of violence. Um, Colleges listening to the youth.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm drawing a blank on the administrator. This is historical, not present. And I think it was during the Vietnam War that there was the students did a sit-in,
Mm-hmm.
and the president, I think it was a West Coast university. I don't quote me on the university. I can't remember the
Yeah,
name,
it happened. I do believe
but
it happened in
you,
California. It
yeah,
was
you
I
know
know
where
it
I'm
was,
going with this.
yeah, I know it's
But
I can't I think I'm not sure it was Berkeley or it was Kent State. I think it was
oh,
Kent State. Was
I
it Kent State?
no, because I went to Kent State
Ah,
for, so that's a whole nother why I kind of, I'm usually talkative, but why it's causing me some emotions because the 54th anniversary of the shooting at Kent State is
mm-hmm.
this Saturday. But my original point was that this university president, instead of calling in the authorities to disperse and get violent and whatnot, and he sat down with the students
Mm-hmm.
and listened. Didn't agree to everything, but he listened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you have healthy discourse, in my opinion, by listening. I don't know if you really get people listening if you're violent or destroying property, especially
I
if it's not
agree.
yours.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's some outliers to that. I mean, we could look at the protests that turned into civil disobedience after the murder of George Floyd,
Mm-hmm.
and that I was not a part of the civil disobedience, but I was a part of protests. But the universities having I don't agree. I don't agree with having um, law enforcement come in to clear these college students.
Mm-hmm.
There, if we are to believe the media, what excuse me, if we are to believe what the media is reporting and what law enforcement officials are reporting, that um, some of those aren't college students, but like basically antagonists, just like
Exactly. Here
trying
in
to
here
show
here in
support.
Columbia,
Yeah,
how they were able to, because they had the one of the ways they were able to find out who was part of this protest between the students and people that were outsiders is one was the FBI was able to see, and the police department was able to see the way these turbans were
yeah,
tied around their face, gave an indication that these were people that were outsiders, what they call antagonists,
yeah, yeah,
and they're all over the country in some of the main colleges, and they were the ones that took over the hall and the building. And so, but they was peaceful, and they got them out, they walked them out. It was very peaceful. People, they thought they were going to get the police to get rowdy and use clubs and tear gas and all. They were baiting the police officers, but it did not happen. So a shout out. I mean, I know a lot of people say, "Ron." I mean, I have my anti-police moments too, but you have to give them credit that they were able to get this situation under control at Columbia University. Don't know what's going on in the rest of the country. I know there's some situations that are not as glorious, and
yeah,
then also they had some problems at Cooney, at the Cooney College up also up there, and so there are antagonists that are embedded into these, like I mentioned yesterday, like Black Lives Matter. I remember photographing Black Lives Matter, and I remember also the Black Lives Matter folks moving through the streets of Brooklyn and in lower and Manhattan Union Square,
yeah,
and the police vans were all bombed and caught, put on fire. And those people were not part of the BLM movement. They were
yeah,
from upstate New York. They were antagonists, and they made the BLM early look bad, but it was them. It was,
Well,
and they were not part of Black Lives Matter.
I wanted to, like I say, I'm getting smarter because when I'm like in the sense of coming on now, like it takes me a while when you guys, like you or Chris, send me the link to get in. So I'm like, wow, I finally got on. And but I have you up over here so I can see the comments. And I want to, respect, Lisa. I think I don't know if she mentioned you don't. She said I don't agree. It must be sacrifice, no bending.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if
Yes,
you meant.
Lisa said. Yes, she said.
Yeah,
Lisa says, "I don't
yeah.
agree. It must be
Well,
sacrifice.
yeah,
No bending."
and I applaud. Like this one thing I love about our community. The community is that healthy disagreement. I mean
Hmm.
that's her belief and that's her feeling. And I have a different one. I'm not saying, how could I put it? I just said this the other day to one of my students in a nice way. I said, listen, my default is usually Martin. You keep messing around, you're gonna see the Malcolm X side of me. Now
Yeah.
do the work. But so I say it in a sense like violence should not be the natural go-to,
Correct.
because I feel like many of our grandparents or ancestors have told us you catch more bees with honey than with vinegar. And I could, for my background, I'm coming at it from the stories and the experiences of my mom, and who was active in the civil rights movement in Alabama and what they did even at the grassroots level.
Hmm.
And I'm I don't think I've seen or heard this from the youth that are championing these changes to stop funding, have our government stop funding Israel, the Israeli government. We can be against what Benjamin Netanyahu is doing and be for the Israeli people,
Hmm.
because there are some Jewish people who do not support what he's doing.
There's a
Um,
lot of Jewish
yeah,
people that do not support.
and so
Lots of them.
yeah, I don't want to get too deep into that, but I was why I was referencing the civil rights movement and what I learned from my own family's involvement at the grassroots level was that they put out like an action plan, even early on,
Hmm.
for sit-ins at the counters. Like, this is what you do. This is what like these are our 10 bullet points that we're trying to achieve from these peaceful protests.
Yes.
The other side's going to be violent. Let's assume they will.
Yes.
So what do we have to do? I assume many of us have seen the documentaries and PBS,
Hmm.
Eyes on the Prize specials and whatnot, about like the training that those youth back then did.
But
Yeah.
there's also, like Derek is saying here, Derek says, this has been a
Oh yeah.
fight since the beginning of time. Most of these students don't
Yeah.
have a clue of what and why and are just joining in. And this is one of the problems with this movement is Derek hits it right on the nose. There are
Yeah.
some students that are really politically inclined. They know the history. They know what's going on in Palestine, the Palestinian conflict. They know about the two-state solution. They know about the Gaza Strip. They know about the 1948. They know about all these layers of history. Some, but most of the people that are in the streets today that are you know, protesting, they don't know the issues. And not like our grandparents and our parents. Our grandparents and our parents were taught the history and they knew the history of why they were marching for the most part. When you think about what like you just said, they taught them, okay, when you're at the coffee table bar stand,
Yeah.
they're going to yell at you, they're going to spit on you, they're going to do whatever. Also, with that training went the education. So the civil rights movement was not just about getting into protests, but was also understanding the conflict. It was understanding why we need civil rights. It was understanding of the issues and why the Constitution says we should have civil rights. So to the unfortunate thing about TikTok
Mm,
TikTok news folks, the people that get their news on TikTok, get their news on here on YouTube
yeah.
or whatever,
Here.
or Instagram. They get their news from unsubscribed sources, as they say.
Yeah.
A lot of young people don't get, and it's not just young people. There's older people there. There are
Yeah.
college professors out there. There's a lot of people out there, but it's about also being educated of why you're out there.
Well,
So
beyond, I'm guilty of this. I think as a society, this is a more broader assumption. I feel like as a society, we we all have in some manner have been conditioned to like this microwavable information. Get it,
mhm,
you know, wait, I can microwave a hamburger in 2 seconds instead of a grill for like a couple of minutes or whatever. Doesn't mean it's going to taste as good, but it's going to be
mhm.
quicker. Same thing with our information. And where's the vetting process of ensuring that the information you're getting from whatever source,
Yeah.
whatever the source, make sure that it's accurate, and make sure there's a depth. And lastly, on the for me on the protests, well, I guess two things. One, I commend the youth because historically, I feel weird. I don't know about you. Feel weird looking at. I felt like I was just back in college. Well,
Yeah,
that was
we were
30.
college was now 30 years ago.
But
30
the youth,
years ago was
you know,
college. Now, no, sorry, my bad.
yeah,
40 years ago is
yeah.
almost now college.
But the youth, they may not have. They have useful naivete because, like, in my opinion, maybe not having a depth of of how the world operates
Mhm,
can be a blessing and a curse.
mhm.
Blessing because they don't know. It's like they don't know what they don't know. So to them, it's like just clear cut, black and white. Hey, stop doing this. Okay, but there are things attached to that. If we do that, it's like the butterfly effect. So I do feel like there's that youthful naivete, but usually the youth have been on the right side of history
Every
a lot of
eh,
things.
and you say that, and people forget. Folks forget how young Malcolm X was when he started,
Yeah,
how young Martin Luther King was when he started, how young was all these people in the civil rights movement. They were in their early 20s. They were
Medgar Evers. Oh,
21, 20,
yeah,
19, 18. Think about John Lewis. John Lewis was
yeah,
what, 17, 18 years
yeah,
old, right?
yeah.
So this is, I mean, change has always been with the young folks leading the charge. They're usually on the right side of history. And for those, I mean, obviously, you see all the young folks that are out there doing this. It does it puts into contrary the thought that young people are not listening or not awake. I
That's the
mean, they
positive.
like, oh, they're just hanging out doing it. No, young people are listening and they are watching and they are trying to do something.
That
So
I would
okay.
use that as a positive. And then lastly, I will say, uh, protesting. The one constant that I try to share when something, if you want to have an impact,
Mhm.
money, and that's what like that a lot of the requests, or I think if I'm understanding this correctly from a lot of the protesting college students across the country on the campuses is they want their universities to divest themselves from companies that are doing business in Israel. Okay, um, to me, a lot of that is nuanced. Yeah, it college is business. So
Mhm,
and I'm seeing
mhm.
that from the instructor side on a college campus. But I say, like, I go back to the Montgomery bus boycott. That wasn't just in Montgomery, but
Mhm.
when we collectively as a people of African Americans got together and said, nope, and it wasn't everybody. You're not going to get everybody, but the majority of that movement was, okay, they're not listening to our peaceful protest. They're not listening to, dot, 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 dot.
Mm-hmm.
Hit them where it hurts. Green. Yeah. So if
Well, you know, the
all
old saying is, I mean, not the saying, the historical facts is that Martin Luther King wasn't a threat until he was a threat to the pocketbook.
yeah,
It was one thing for him to be rallying and protesting, but once he said, hey, you know what, I want the sanitation workers to start protesting and saying, we're out, we are all in this together, white, black,
yeah,
poor, it doesn't matter what color, we're all in this, and we're going to stop this city economically. That's when he became a major threat. Okay, next subject. We go on to the next subject. I already said, if you have a link I put this link up here for those that are in this community, you want to join in the conversation. The next conversation is probably going to take us out to the end, because this one, I don't know if you guys have seen. There's a lot going on out there. Obviously, we got that crazy Kristi, or her name is Kristi Noem, with her dog and everything, and shooting the dog. And that was yesterday. We talked about that briefly, and she just doubling down on what she did. Just that's all kinds of crazy. How do you kill a puppy? Poor Cricket. I mean, the puppy was named Cricket.
14 months.
And just take out a gun and shoot a dog because he's not behaving the way you think he should behave. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. We talked about that yesterday. However, I don't know if you guys have seen this. The Trump Time Magazine interview. And I'm just gonna, if you haven't seen it yet, the most important of seeing it is you might want to read it.
Yeah.
And this is real. They always say, listen to the horse. The truth, their words, the words are coming out of the horse's mouth. Well, the horse is speaking. And maybe he's not a horse. Maybe he's a jackass. But he is speaking. And he is speaking clearly in this interview. You have not seen it. Yeah. Everyone, the folks that are into knowing what's going on, if you think Project 20, this Time Magazine interview, for those that don't know, we are talking about Project 2025 on this platform a lot. We talk about it a lot and we're going to continue to talk about it because everyone should be reading Project 2025. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, where you are economically. You need to know what's going on with what they want to implement, and they've already started with Project 2025. If Trump happens to win office. But it gets even deeper. I mean, this over here, this article, this interview from Time, if your hair is not on fire, it will be when you realize where this man wants to take the country. And I know we keep saying it over and over and over and over again, but guys, take some time to read this article. I got 2/3 through because, I had to do some other stuff, but man, it is so enlightening of, if you don't have a clear thought. And one thing about Trump, you give this man credit. Elise, you're not able to get the link. Make sure I put the link back up there. Let me put that link back up there for Elise. Yeah, she wants to pop on.
Yes.
But this is scary. Did you read it, Brian?
Yeah.
I knew you would. There's certain people in this audience. There's certain people in this community that I know will be reading. Oh, there she is. There she is.
Sis, I will say, one of the things my colleague and I are telling our students that we're teaching design to, that when we send you video links, when we send you links for information, whether it's art or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm often asking, all right, who did that last night? One or two hands raised. And I get real, I don't get, I'll just say, I follow what I tell my students, like, which is there are some absolutes that I believe in. Every single human being on this planet, I'll keep it clean, has to go to the bathroom at some point or another. I'm gonna keep it real. So while you in there sitting down, taking care of your business, have your phone and watch that 2-minute video that I sent you guys to watch on whatever. Same thing. Why each and every one of us has to go to the bathroom at some point throughout the day. If not, see your doctor. But read. I mean, just and yeah, this article is a reminder. It's scary. Believe this.
Believe this man. Believe him.
Yeah.
Hey, Elise is in the building. What's going on, Elise?
Hi, just listening and to you all, and definitely read. I mean, believe it. Not just read it. Believe that he's telling you exactly what he's gonna do. He said it out loud. They have all these things that are going on. You know, people gonna check on you while you're pregnant. They're gonna check your pregnancy. What does that mean? People need to wake up.
Elise.
Yes.
I mean, as soon he said the red states, like he truly sees the blue states as the enemy.
Yes,
or anything he only sees the world in red and blue. He only sees it in that way. He says the red states will have the ability to monitor women's pregnancy while they're pregnant.
Right, that's because he knows the blue states don't have all of that craziness going on. So he's just telling them what they can do.
Holy, and like someone said, it's like we say it's a cliche. It's a cliche about the Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah,
but this is real. I mean, this was like taking even. I mean, this is real. But how do we get our loved ones? How do we get people to share this information without incriminating our family, friends, and the people that believe in this stuff? How do we, it's hard to get a family member out of a cult. When you think about movie stars, I mean that movie star situation that happened in California, and this woman, her daughter was stuck in this cult, and the daughter had all kinds of education, had money, had everything, but she was stuck in this cult. And if people, I mean, we who, I study cults and religions and all that stuff. I mean, it's just a little, I know I like these kind of, I just read stuff like that, but it is a cult. Yeah. And how do we get people out of that cult?
But the biggest thing is, like, we need to understand that it's not just poor people.
No, it's not just poor people.
It's just poor people, and it's not just uneducated people. And the real focus of it, and the manipulation of it, and how they play on people's fears and all of that kind of craziness. And for it's like the one man that said, he said it was a cult, but what got him out of it was, he said he was grateful he got arrested.
Oh yeah,
because he said that's what helped him understand that it was a cult.
I remember that interview.
And so right? And something has to happen. Like something, unfortunately, for some people, things have to happen. My thing is, right now, when you look at what he's saying about everything and how crazy it is, you have got to, and he prides himself on saying that the people who follow him are just that crazy.
Yeah.
And so you think about how crazy it is and what it means to everyone out there. White women, if they're not paying attention, this is about you. They're gonna have a monitoring you, especially you, because of what they want you to do. You're talking about building these basically internment camps. Yeah. Hispanic people out here say, "Oh, we're gonna vote for him." Why? He's gonna have you all in internment camps. He's gonna get rid of 11 million people.
11 million people. He is planning on deporting 11 million people from the United States.
And if he knows a number, they've already, this organization, Heritage Foundation, everybody has already started identifying who these people are. And trust me, it's not 11 million brown black people. They're not talking about black people, because Hispanic people, you need to understand that. Islamic people understand who he's talking about. But if you're from a Middle Eastern country other than Israel, he's talking about y'all. He's going to get rid of you. And just be understanding of that.
He may also get rid of the Israelis, because they don't. Because remember, they don't believe that they don't believe Jewish people are white.
Right, and they're not pro-Jewish people. They're just utilizing the far right Zionists.
Right.
It's just two far right groups coming together and seeing stuff. Just like when y'all talking about the stuff on campuses and what's happening. They're mad at the Congress is upset now because DC police wouldn't go on George Washington's campus, which means we didn't have any violence.
That's right.
And they're threatening the mayor to say, oh, we're going to take over the police. We're going to do this. Well, they're not the president. They can't send the National Guard. They can't do anything. But they're threatening but the police are like, we're not going over there. They're peaceful.
Yeah.
But that's also a part of 2025. People read how they said they're going to interact with people who oppose their views.
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, no, I was going to add to just on the
Oh, we lost Brian.
Is he freezing?
I think he's froze.
Oh yeah, he froze.
We lost Brian.
There he's back.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you froze for a moment, sir.
Oh, I thought that was y'all. But
we froze. No, that was you.
With unfortunately, with Agent, just so like rapid that we all can get overwhelmed. One of the things that I wanted to highlight with those.
Finish that.
Oh, we're losing him again.
You keep me losing him.
Yeah,
it pays.
Brian, we got to get you a better. Your signals getting a little, and you're not moving, which is crazy.
No, I'm just.
You must have Spectrum. I'm sorry.
Oh man, so
I have Spectrum.
Learn history. Dig a little deeper into history for those.
Sorry, Spectrum.
We're not around during Asian American friends or family. This country put Japanese Americans in internment.
Yes, right.
So if anybody,
it's not the first time.
Thinking, no, that would never happen.
Well, yeah.
History.
Yeah, history. It wasn't just.
Hello,
Japanese.
remember the Trail of Tears? Remember that?
The Trail of Tears. And I was just reading about the Devil's. What is it? The Devil's dag.
America has done it before.
Right, they've done it to former enslaved people.
Yes, former enslaved people.
They wouldn't let them out of there. They let them stay in there. They died. If somebody died, they had to bury them. They had to dig holes and bury them themselves. So it's something that's been done, but it's also, I think people have to understand that the manual, which is Project 2025, is what's being regurgitated.
Yes.
And the problem is not so much how I see the bigger problem is how complicit media is in coverage.
Yes, they should be on this. This should be something that they are on all day long.
Right.
And someone said the protests is a distraction. Now, we get the Palestinian. We are most of us are not for the heavy-handedness that's been going on in the Gaza Strip. That's just, none of us are for that. However, you can eat and chew gum at the same. I mean, eat and chew gum, as they say, at the same time, or walk and chew gum.
Walk and chew gum.
Walk and chew gum, not eat, walk. Maybe I'm hungry right now, but walk and chew gum at the same time. You should be able to get this. I mean, this. If there's this today, the media should be flooded about this Time magazine interview.
Yeah. And so what happened, like they talk about Fox. So instead of Fox talking about this, they were talking about how slowly Biden was eating his salad.
Yeah.
That was newsworthy. Somebody said at least Biden was eating salad. But the part is, My husband and I were just talking about, there's this article in the paper about what took place during Reconstruction and what the Black legislators were able to accomplish.
Yes.
The thing is, how do you get more people to flood the internet with information like that, and not just the protests aren't the distraction, the violence that from police officers against the protesters, and now those right-wing Zionists reactions toward that's the distraction, because them sitting peacefully was not the distraction. The distraction is how they're handling them. Like in DC, there's nothing. You haven't even heard anything about DC.
And well, the whole thing here in New York City, I mean, like I said, the police department said, we're not going to the campus.
Right.
We're not going to the campus unless the college says to come. That's not our jurisdiction. The police were not going to go on campus until they were invited.
Right.
And then I have to give Columbia a little credit. They said you can come back after the 17th. But we just need to get these folks graduated.
Right.
That's all.
And that's what you need to do. Right? I mean, you can do that, but it's how, and then understanding that in all of this, you got to know who makes up police forces now. So a part of
you're trying to open a can of worms.
But that's a part of it. Like some of the things that he's planning on enforcing is because of who he's gonna have enforcing.
That's right.
All of these policies, right?
Well,
so that's the part that you have to know. We just have to be.
We thought we lost Elise a little bit too. Elise, come back. There she is. There she is.
Can you see me now?
I see you in here. You froze. You froze for a bit, dear.
Oh, okay.
Before you go there, before you
understand.
Before you go there, Kimmy says there must be some reason for the lack of news coverage. Yeah, there is. Big corporations are with Trump. But that's another story there. Okay. Derek says, could it be that the entities of the media are with Project 25? Thus, the reason of it not being reported. Because most of the media is owned by corporations that are with Trump. Cass says, Blessed Wednesday definitely need to pour more information, more into grassroots and community organizing. And Kimmy says, maybe not trying to really rally other nations until election time. Hey, Janet. Janet says this. But yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go back, Elise.
Yeah, so one thing is addressing the media part. I always remind people every time I talk on my lives, remember who owns media companies in America.
Yes.
And across the world. We don't control them. We don't own them, right? So they are beneficiaries of policies that might come in, but they don't see the harm, and they kind of we got to do balance. But the other side doesn't give balance in their media, right? They're not worried about balance. Everybody else, we're gonna give balance. No, you're gonna do that part that's protecting you as that wealthy person.
That's right.
That's what we have to remember: is money, power, and control. Those are the three things: money, power, and control. That's what's leading all of this. And the biggest thing that I say, because I'm getting ready to get in my car, the biggest thing I say is this. And I was telling my husband this morning, it's now become our job to circulate the information. Our job not to be distracted. Our job not to circulate foolishness. We have got to stop circulating foolishness.
Yes.
And there's some foolishness out there. Like, I don't know, this is another topic at some point, that Emmanuel, I'm sick and tired of him and the horrible things he said. You are only, I got a courageous conversation with a Jew. So what? But you're also dangerous. What he's saying right now is also dangerous to Palestinian people, innocent Palestinian people. He is very dangerous. And when you see him as he's promoting this book, well, we gotta talk and we gotta do all these things. He never mentions talking to Palestinians. He never mentions talking to anyone else in the picture. We got to understand what's happening with our Jewish brothers and sisters, do we? Why don't we understand what's happening to Palestinians?
Yes.
So right now he's very dangerous. And if you all get a chance and see any of the clips from his conversation where he's promoting this book,
What's Emmanuel's last name?
Is it Acho,
Acho?
ACHO?
Okay.
Yeah.
ACHO. And the
But you
thing
say
is, like,
something that's
he's
very key and very important as we wind down is that like the gentleman, I think is Robert Keegan, who has a beautiful book called The Rebellion. Check that out. If I'll put that in the link. It's called The Rebellion Again, and it talks about, it parallels the 1920s and the 2020s.
right,
And how they're similar, and the rise of the Ku Klux Klan, and
right,
the height of racism in America, and also the divisions and the divides. So it's a good book. I just
right,
ordered it today because I want to dive into it. I heard about it yesterday on Joy Reid.
right,
Check with Joy Reid show
right,
yesterday. She talks about the Time magazine, and also talks about the book The Rebellion. And but at the end of the day, what he mentions, he says, many of us say, oh, but the institutions will hold up against Trump. There's no way
he,
that this could happen.
he
And
already
it's
said it.
about, he's going to get rid of those institutions.
He
So
said it.
and so the thing is, it's we the people.
Right.
It's
And
we the people. I even heard that he's getting ready to have a rally here in New York City, according
right,
to the Source magazine, here at Madison Square Garden, with all the rappers to bring in Black folks to the rally.
right, right.
And
Yeah,
again, I will say, if Black people weren't important to vote, or people of color were important
right,
to vote, they wouldn't be putting money into Madison Square Garden
They wouldn't be
and
called.
bring rappers.
right. And they wouldn't be making poster children out of some of them so they can convince them that they're working in your favor. And that's
Yes.
what they're doing. And my last thing on Emmanuel is, do not buy his book. Do not buy his book. I don't care. There's no curiosity I have with your conversation, your courageous conversation with a right-wing Jewish woman. I don't have that. I'm not curious, because I see what they say every day and what they do every day. That's not
Oh
my
yeah, we
concern.
need
My
to.
thing is, you have to, if you're going to preach tolerance and understanding everybody, then you need to practice tolerance and understanding everyone. And if you look at his video where he's promoting his book, he's not talking about tolerance. This is
I
the
need to
same
look it
man
out. I have to check it out.
that said some awful things about Angel Reese.
Really?
Yes.
I
He's
haven't
horrible.
seen it yet.
Yeah.
I have to check it out. So
Check him out. He said
thank
some
you for putting
horrible. He
that
had
on
to
our
come back up.
radar.
Well, he didn't really apologize, but he said some terrible things about Angel Reese and why he likened her to being to animals, basically, and being
Wow.
vicious. But with the whole thing after because she cried and talked about all the pressure she had been under. He is not, he sees himself as a Nigerian American. But
Well,
do not buy this
it's
man's
interesting.
book.
I saw a piece of the interview yesterday on GMA3, but
Right.
I will dive into that because I did not know all the information. But thank you. Okay,
Yes.
we're
All
gonna have
right.
to get.
I'm gonna have to get off of here.
You're getting
Yeah.
ready to get in the
I'm
car,
getting my car.
Elise. Thank you for coming on.
All right.
And this is like we got to do more of this, and this is how we'll do our Thursdays as well. Chris and I were like, we'll start it off in the first half hour, but we want you guys to get more involved in the conversation, because that's how you learn. Like, I didn't know
Right.
about Emmanuel Ocho's book, and I would like to know more about that. So cool, that's good information. Thank you, Elise.
All right. Take care.
Love you. That's why it's called social. Like Omar said, that's why it's called social media.
Love you all
We're
too.
being social. Love you. Bye.
Well, and I'll hop out. I wanted to just add, since I see it's still up there, Trump Time magazine interview. Read that, pull it up on your phone. If you can, dig into Project 2025. I know it's overwhelming. I've mentioned consistently, I started reading that back in, I think, like late November, early December, just because of my life. And then I finally finished reading the entire document digitally, I think, February or maybe early March. One, just because of life, like a lot of us. Two, because I felt icky read, like I couldn't sit and read that thing entirely front to back. I felt like taking a shower after every time and like dousing my mind with some like rainbows and roses, because it's so scary. And something that my mentor and pastor always told me: make it plain. For many out there who may have their head in the sand thinking like, okay, he's saying all this stuff, doesn't mean anything to me. Make it plain. Are you a woman? Do you have a woman in your life? Is there a woman that you care about? Do you think it's okay for somebody to tell that woman what to do with her health care? Because it's not just about abortion. It's about privacy. It's about your rights. I learned recently Agent Orange is looking into, when he gets into office, and I think I read this in Project 2025, looking at having more of an influence on the Fed. Why that matters? The Fed is neutral. The Fed is what sets the interest rates, impacts all of us in some capacity. Basically, that will lead him in, or making him be able to manipulate
the currency.
The currency.
Yeah.
All of us depend on some form of money and currency. And then lastly, I'll just say, and I commend Joy Reid from The View. She said this yesterday, and I was like, that's it right there. Stop. There is not a comparison between current President Joe Biden and former President, I'm going to say his name, Donald Trump. Everybody's saying, well, they're both bad. And they're like, no. And I respect the third party candidates. Now is not the time.
That's right.
Do not replace dissatisfaction with Joe Biden. Do not replace dissatisfaction with dictatorship, because you won't be able to have any more dissatisfaction after.
That's right.
After that. And I'll remind everybody, where were you 4 years ago when this clown literally was in office? I lost over 14 family members to COVID. I had COVID twice, even after I was vaccinated. So personally, make it personal. If you think, well, how bad could it be? Stop with this. And here's where I will say, remind yourself where you were in 2020. Remind yourself listening to some of these press conferences where this clown was telling people to, just put bleach in your butt. Yeah, that's it. Like, who does that? Not to mention the denial, not to mention the hatred that was stoked. Ask him what his policies are specifically. And I'll land with that. I'll stop with that. But that kind of gets me going. But
well, buddy, we're all in it. We're all in this together, and it begins with we, the people. You can hope that the legislation, the institutions are going to hold up, and he says, I was nice last time. He said, I was too nice last time. So, guys, that's why we do this. This is a water cooler talk, and we're talking, but we're bringing facts and policies and sharing information that you can dive into. This is not about just sharing and like, this is go into Project 2025. Dive into this Time Magazine article, Trump interview. They're both online. It's so important. Take the time to know what these people are planning for you and I and our society. It is important and beyond important. So I'm going to let you go, Mr. B.
Can I share one positive? I feel like the news, they give you all this dire net at the end. It's like, oh, look, a cat was saved out in the tree. But I get it. And I want to, I read this yesterday, and I think I saw D.L. Hughley post it. There's the good things happen to good people. I don't know if people saw this man I believe in the Pacific Northwest, either Oregon or Washington, that won the Powerball. He's been battling cancer for 8 years. He's not going to be around to spend all this money. But you talk about God blessing somebody. If it gives me goosebumps. If somebody deserved to win the lottery, this man did. And his what do you call it, press conference, because like the reporters asking dumb what do you, he said, well, I've been battling cancer for 8 years. Now I can be able to finally afford a good doctor. He's going to
But not
make
only that, he said he wanted to donate money so that they can cure cancer. So he's
man.
like trying, he's not only thinking about himself, but he's
Yeah.
thinking about others. Well,
So
Mr. B, I'm going to
yeah.
let you go
All right.
because we got to get off here. If you guys want to see the replay, you can catch it on Indie Soup Media. You will
I'll
catch
let you
us
go.
on with Dr. Tachi. I'm letting you go, bro.
All right.
Love you. But we're gonna yeah, he's so selfless and was so kind. But yes, check us out on Indie Soup Media. That's what we'll be. And guys, see you tomorrow on Touch Base Daily. We will be here with Chris, and we will get into politics, and we'll talk what's going on what's happening in today's headlines. So let's do that tomorrow. Guys, have a wonderful Wednesday, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay, guys, we're out of here. Bye.